It's space weather. It's Earth weather. It's silver prices. It's Sunspot 2727. Cosmic rays. And more. Some predictions coming true. Before we do any of that, let's take a look at the Northeast on AccuWeather's Doppler radar. Historic nor'easter, and it's not gone yet. The low is just sitting there, doing its standard counterclockwise rotation, and it's not leaving. Northeast is buried. Let's take a look at what the roads are like. Yeah, they're jacked up. Look at that. New York, Philly, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, the entire state of New York, even into Canada. The roads are jacked up. Let's get back to the update. Now, yesterday, we talked about silver prices. By today, they've gone up a quarter, which is quite a bit. We pretty much called the 52-week low exactly. Obviously, the support level is $14 per ounce. If you bought silver 2 days ago, you're welcome. If you're planning on buying it today, you're still welcome, because it's still cheap. To quote Peter Schiff, the smart money is buying gold and silver, because they're trying to hedge against the inflation of the US dollar, which is occurring. Take a look at the sun in 304 angstroms. Most of the filamentary activity has relaxed. Take a look at Sunspot 2727 and 2726 as it departs and degrades. Here's your magnetic lines in 171 angstroms. You can see some very choppy looking fields coming out of this area. And some squiggly lines over here. And some pretty strong magnetic fields coming out of those two sunspots, as we would expect. Take a look at it closer at solar ham. There's the umbra of 2727. It looks like it actually grew a little bit since yesterday. Alright, so this one grew a little bit, and I think they both did actually. Although the magnetic mixing isn't particularly powerful there, it is a beta class, more powerful than an alpha class. Let's look at the spaceweathernews.com data. X-ray fluxing has gone up a little bit, still fairly flatlined. Phi angle is still shifting around. Solar wind density is still below 10 protons per cubic centimeter, and the solar wind speed is dropping way off, down to about, what is that, 360? No expectations there. Magnetometer looking a little smoother than it has been. And another story, KP index averaging 0. It only went up to 1 for a tiny bit yesterday. Was there an increase in cosmic ray flux? Well, according to one neutron monitor, there was. By the way, we'll be leaving links to all of this below in the description. Here's the Athens neutron monitor. And look at that. The biggest spike for 2 weeks just happened yesterday, right as the KP was at 0. No surprise there either. Back to spaceweathernews.com. Electron flux is flat. Any spikes in this would not be surprising. If that went above 10 to the 5th, not be surprised there. The F2 ionosphere layer is looking very discharged. There's that data. And now let's cover the spooky earthquake situation, because it's, for real, it's pretty scary. So, going back 9 hours, we've got one on the East Pacific Rise, which is not a particularly common place for earthquakes. We got a whole bunch around the Antarctica area, which is quite rare. No tsunami warnings issued that we know of. Japan got a 4.1 at 279 kilometers, which means Japan stays on alert for a low level 5 magnitude. Alaska getting rocked with a 4.4, a 4.7, and a 3.5, and a 3.9. Indonesia gets a 4.6 at depth, so they're still on alert for a 5. Japan, geez, the Solomon Islands, a 6.5 and a 6.2 in the Solomon Islands, down by, again, by Antarctica. Very sketchy. South Sandwich Islands. Geez, the whole south portion of the planet is getting hammered by earthquakes. However, the most important thing as far as America goes are these 3 right here. Look at that. 3.9, a 4.1, and a 4.5. All off of Oregon, which means California stays on alert for a mid-4 magnitude quake. Argentina gets a deep quake. The Drake Passage, another very, very southern area. That one's a 5.2. And there's your map. So big uptick in earthquakes, especially in the southern hemisphere. If you're in an earthquake-prone area, please have a plan. Let's look at one more thing. The coronal hole situation. So indeed, there is a coronal hole, and it's connected to the solar south pole, it looks like. We'll be awaiting a phi angle signal, probably in the range of about 90 degrees phi angle signal. We'll signal a magnetic connection to that coronal hole. And that pretty much covers it. Thanks for tuning in. Please share the videos on your social media if you see fit. Please like and subscribe to videos. Have a nice day. Do not accept any wooden nickels. Give you one last zoom of Sunspot 2727. Signing off.